you're having a wonderful Tuesday. Welcome to another workshop. We're excited to be talking about cryptocurrency and what you need to do to just really understand how cryptocurrency works, how to add it into your investments, and what are the best approaches. So I'm sure there's going to be a lot of questions here, and I'm excited for this class. Cryptocurrency is a topic that I've genuinely been interested for the past several years. I've been doing a good amount of research on them. So in this class, hopefully I could do a good job explaining how cryptocurrency works and how it should fit with your investments and how you're currently investing. So we're going to get started momentarily. Just in the comments section, just say hello, let us know where you're listening in from, and we'll get started in 1 minute here. Welcome, Mary Brown, good to see you. Thank you for joining us. Welcome, Happy Chicken. Welcome, Jennifer. Thanks for joining us. Amazing, Jennifer. Happy to have you from good old Calgary, Alberta. Welcome, Anita. Welcome, Ali. We have Hanover, Ontario. Amazing. We got London, Ontario. Welcome, Steve. Amazing. Montreal, Winnipeg, Manitoba. So let's dive into it. Let's talk about cryptocurrencies. So the first question I have for all of you, do you own any cryptocurrency? Let me know in the comment section. Just put yes or no. Do you own any cryptocurrency? Okay, we got mostly no, right? No, some. Hi, Kyla, hope you're doing well. What is it? Right, okay, so let's talk about cryptocurrencies and how they work and should you even invest in them and how you should invest in them. So it's helpful to understand how money started. So if we go back way back, how money originated was just barter. So there was no such thing as dollars or cents or gold. If you wanted something, you had to trade for it. So let's say you wanted a cow and you had a cat, you would trade your cat for a cow. And this was the old school way of exchanging goods and services and buying and selling different things. Then metal money came in, and that's really where things got different, because you could now go to a supermarket and you don't have to take your cow anymore. You could just take all these metal dollars and you could buy these things. Right? And that was a big step, because trading things is just not very convenient and you're not really sure how much is my cat or my cow really worth. So that was a little bit tough, but then metal money got introduced. Then we got introduced to paper money, right? This is like thousands of years ago, hundreds of years ago. And paper money is even more convenient, because metal money like gold and silver, those things are very heavy and they're not very convenient to walk around with. And it takes up a lot of space. So paper money came into play that kind of just replaced metal money. Next, debit cards, right? This was another big step. Debit cards got invented in 1978, where you didn't need paper money anymore. You can actually go to the store and use a card, and that card was connected to your bank account, and your bank account had paper money in it. And now it's digital money. So now you don't even need a debit card anymore. You just need your phone, and you could go and buy and sell things. And everything is online, right? There's very little paper money. When you go to the bank, you look at your balance, there's not a bunch of cash that's represented by the dollar figure that you see. It's all digital. It's just numbers on a screen. That's where we are today. So cryptocurrency could be the next step for money. It could just be this natural evolution of money. and money will continue to evolve. We haven't seen a major innovation um, since the 1990s, but it will evolve just like everything else. So let's explain it. What is so different about cryptocurrency? Well, the first thing, it's 100% digital. Okay, there is no coins, right? Sometimes you see the images like the one over here where there's a coin. You see that person's holding a coin. That doesn't represent Bitcoin or anything at all, right? That's just a visual representation of what it could be. No, Bitcoin and all cryptocurrencies is 100% digital. There's no metal, there's no paper money. It is all online through computers. What are some other things? Number one, and the other a big thing is not only is it digital, it's also decentralized. So what does decentralized mean? It means that there's no centralized entity. There's no banks or financial institutions managing your money or holding your money. So this sounds crazy to most people. And when I first learned about this, I'm like, wait, how? How are there no banks involved? How are there no financial institutions? Who's going to manage the money? Who's going to make sure everything is going right? How do you, you have to have a bank. What do you mean there's no bank? So let's explain how it works, okay? And don't try and understand everything. Cryptocurrency is not something you're going to understand in a 30-minute workshop. It's going to take you a little bit of time and some research. It took me months to fully wrap my head around how it works. So just bear with me. Don't let your mind race too far. Just listen to the points and don't try and get too ahead of yourself. So how does spending money work and sending money via a traditional bank? So let's say you have $10 and you send your friend $10. Okay, so person one sends money, but you have to do it through a bank. You have to log into your bank, and the bank is the one that makes sure that you have this money in your bank account. They make sure that the other person you're sending it to is a real person. It's not just some random thing you're sending it to. So the bank is the one that validates and approves these transactions, and they make sure everything goes smooth, right? And then person two, they earn $10. So when you look at your bank account and you send money or you pay a bill, you could see the negatives and the positives, right? The credits and the debits. That's just very simply how banking works, right? So if you send $10, you have a credit in your account and the other person has a debit in their account. Now, sending money via cryptocurrency. Here's the big difference. There is no one in the middle. There's no bank, there's no middle person, there's no financial institution. So who validates and who approves these transactions? How on earth can you be sending money and facilitating financial transactions without a middle person or a bank? So how it works, and again, just listen to these steps because it can get very confusing. So the first characteristic of all cryptocurrency is there's a public ledger. So all transactions that you see is 100% public. So I'm actually going to show you here what that looks like. So give me a second. I'm going to pull this up. One second here. Let me just. Okay, here we go. So here are all of the transactions of Bitcoin right now as we speak. You could see the hash, which I'll explain this a little bit later, but the time, so this is all 1:10 p.m. These are happening live, and you could see the amount. Look at this, $1 million, $3 million, 1.7, $460, $455. These are live transactions of every single person that's sending money or receiving money with Bitcoin. Isn't that crazy? So how a bank usually works is you can't see this, right? A bank has it all, they're the ones that see it. And guess what? Even a bank, you can't see all the transactions. A bank can only see their transactions, like within CIBC. CIBC can't see TD's transactions. So the first really unique thing about cryptocurrency is everything is public. You can see everything. So let's go and pick one specifically and dive a little bit deeper into it. So let's take a look at this one. This is a pretty big one, 185,000. Here it is. Okay, so you could see the details here. So it's unconfirmed. So this is not a confirmed transaction yet, and I'm going to explain what that is in a second. It's not confirmed. So this transaction, although it was recorded, it isn't confirmed. You can see different things in here, the number of confirmations. So there's 0 confirmations because it's unconfirmed right now. The total value, so 185,000. And you can see some other things, the inputs and the outputs. So the input basically means who sent this money, right? The person that sent this money. So you can see this is the person that sent this money. BC1QYG, all whatever this is. So the thing with Bitcoin is there's no names. It's not like Arian sent this money to Alice. It's done through your address, right? So this is an address of this person. Now the output is the person that they sent this money to. So you could see this is the output, and they sent it here. So you don't have to know this specifically, right? Like with cryptocurrency, it's really easy to fall into the rabbit holes of these things. If you really like math and you really like science, yes, I recommend to dig deep, but you don't need to understand it fully to invest in it, but you should have a good general understanding of how it works. I just wanted to show you this so that you could see all of the public transactions that are going on. Look at this one, $6 million that just got sent, 35,000, 20,000. It's pretty incredible that you can actually see that. So now this, the question that a lot of people have, so how are these transactions confirmed? So the biggest thing with Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is everyone has a copy of that ledger, and people get rewarded for using their computer power to validate these transactions. These are called Bitcoin miners. So there are right now 1 million Bitcoin miners around the world, and the job of these individuals and these that are managing these computers is just to validate these transactions. So if I want to send you $5 million and I don't have $5 million in my account, then the transaction will not get approved because these Bitcoin miners will look and see like, okay, no, Arian doesn't have $1 million in his bank account, so he can't send it. So what's really amazing is to see some of these Bitcoin miners around the world. Look how incredible this is. This is a facility. This is another facility. These are computers using electricity. So it's not great for the environment. There's a lot of innovation around that. Validating transactions through mathematics and computer power. But you can even set it up at your home. I have a friend that he set this up in his home. It uses a lot of electricity. And why does he do it? Because he gets paid in Bitcoin for validating these transactions and keeping the network secure. This was an interesting tweet. Look at this. Bitcoin miners were paid $58.6 million in the last 24 hours to secure the Bitcoin network. Thousands of strangers around the world working in unison to protect the world's strongest computing network. So more specifically, how does this work? Let's say I send my friend $200, okay? Now, you see that there's 1 million different people that are going to validate and confirm this transaction. They're going to check if I have $200. They're going to check if the person I'm sending it to is a valid person. And if the majority of these ledgers approve the transaction, it's confirmed, right? So 1 million people are going, and if the majority of them, let's say 530,000 people say, yep, this transaction looks good, we approve it, then it is confirmed. So remember when I showed you all those different Bitcoin transactions and most of them were unconfirmed? So they only turn confirmed when there's a consensus from all these different Bitcoin miners saying, yes, it looks good. And that takes usually, it could take 15 minutes. It depends on the cryptocurrency. Some are very fast. They do it in seconds, they confirm it. Others take a lot longer. It could be a few hours to confirm it. So what if you hack the system and try to send money to yourself or change a transaction? So let's say I try and send my friend $1 million, but I don't have $1 million. So if I set that transaction up, I send it to my friend, the majority of the ledgers will not approve the transaction. So even if I hacked it and I tried to confirm it on my end and I get a group of 10,000 people to say, hey guys, listen, confirm this transaction in the blockchain, I'll give you $20,000 for doing it. So let's say I get 10,000 people to come along on this huge scheme that I'm going to steal money. I might be able to get 20,000 people to confirm the transaction of me sending $3 million, but there's 1 million Bitcoin miners, so it's not going to get approved. Okay, it will not get approved. So hopefully this makes sense. Again, if it doesn't make sense, that's okay. This is something that's like a language that you're not going to learn it or be fluent right away. But hopefully these visuals give you an idea of how this works. So if you take a look at it, do people lose money in cryptocurrency? Absolutely. In 2021 so far, 681 million has been lost worldwide due to cybercrime and fraud. In the US, 4.2 billion was lost to cybercrime and fraud in 2020. That was just from the banks. There's so much money lost through just regular banking, a lot more than cryptocurrency, even though a lot of people think that cryptocurrency is a lot riskier. It is. I'm not saying it's not risky. You can lose money, and there are people that have lost a lot of money. But, traditional banking, there's still a lot of money lost there due to cybercrime. Okay, so let's keep going here. So cryptocurrency is built on the blockchain. So the blockchain was actually first invented in 1991. So let's talk about the blockchain and how it works. So number one, blockchain is not Bitcoin. These two things are very separate. Sometimes people get confused when they hear blockchain, they think it's Bitcoin. No, think of them two totally separate things. The second thing is blockchain is not an investment. You can't say I want to put money into the blockchain. It's not an investment. And blockchain is not cryptocurrencies. Cryptocurrency and blockchain are two different things. Cryptocurrency is built on the blockchain, and I'm going to give you an analogy to help further explain. So what is blockchain? Blockchain is just basically technology and a system to record information and to validate information. At first, when it was invented, it actually wasn't first invented for money. It was invented for other reasons, but then individuals saw that you can use blockchain to create a better financial system, and that's really when it was built. So the best way to think about it is blockchain is like the general term social media. Social media is, a technology and a way for people to interact through online and through the web, right? And then you have social media apps that are built on social media, right? You have Facebook, Twitter, MySpace, which was back in the day. You have LinkedIn, Snapchat. These are all apps that are social media apps, right? But there's a lot of different ones. So cryptocurrencies are like social media apps, and the actual social media is the blockchain. So blockchain is the foundation, just like social media is the foundation. And then you have these apps that are built on the foundation. Again, blockchain is the foundation that these cryptocurrencies are built on. So you have so many different cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, Dogecoin, Ethereum, Solana, you name it. We're gonna share a kind of a list of different ones a little later on, but there's a lot. But that's a good way to think about it. So hopefully that helps you understand how that works. So let's talk about banks versus Bitcoin. If we put these two, you know, against each other, what are the biggest differences? So hours open, a bank is open from 9 to 5. Bitcoin, there's really no set hours. It is open 24/7, 365 days a year. Number two, transaction fees. So anytime you want to send money or an e-transfer, whatever it might be through a bank, it could cost you anywhere between $0 and $50. It's usually about the same thing as Bitcoin. So it's about $0 to $50. And I'm just using Bitcoin, as the leader cryptocurrency, which is the largest market cap. It has the largest market cap of any cryptocurrency out there. I'm using them as an example right now. Transaction speed. So it could take, when you send an e-transfer to a friend, it's not automatically. It could take between 15 minutes to 4 days. Bitcoin could take 15 minutes and usually not longer than 60 minutes. So the transactions are confirmed a lot quicker. There are other cryptocurrencies out there that are a lot faster, that these transactions can get approved within seconds. Know your customer rules. So this is important to understand. Bank accounts and other banking products require know your customer procedures. This basically means that the bank needs to have a record of identification of their customer. They need to make sure that they're a citizen of the country, that they have government issued ID, they have a good credit score, all those things. They have to make sure that this is a valid person. Bitcoin's a little bit different because anyone or anything can participate in Bitcoin's network. You don't necessarily have to have identification, and that scares a lot of people. But there's also that level of freedom that, anyone can do this, which is, there's good and there's bad to it. Absolutely. Ease of transfers. So government issued identification, bank account, and mobile phone are the minimum requirements for digital transfers. You need to have these things. If you have Bitcoin, all you really need is an internet connection and a mobile phone. Let's talk about privacy. So bank account information is stored on the bank's private servers and held by the client. Now, banks and financial institutions aren't always that secure. They're very easy to get hacked into. Over the years, we've had so many different hacks from financial institutions to banks that people's personal information has been compromised. So they're not always the safest. Now, here's the thing about Bitcoin. All Bitcoin is traceable, but it's impossible to establish who has ownership of Bitcoin if it was purchased anonymously. Okay, so remember, you see all of the different transactions, they're all public, but they're all in those public or private addresses. So it's not like Arian sent Stacy. Again, it was like 013425 second EJKL sends to this person. So it's hard to track them. Now, there have been instances in the past where the FBI has actually been able to look at these transactions, look at the history, and actually trace where they're coming from. Because again, everything is public. Security. So a bank account's information is only as secure as the bank's server that contains the client's information. The great thing with Bitcoin is the larger the Bitcoin network, the more secure it gets. The level of security a Bitcoin holder has with their own Bitcoin is entirely up to them. So you could be very, very secure by not sharing your public addresses, your private addresses. You can have different wallets set up. So you can do it in a very secure way. And the more and more Bitcoin grows, the more and more Bitcoin miners there are. So the more people that have to approve these transactions, and the more people that approve the transactions, the harder it is to get away with fraud or security or stealing, because there are just so many people, millions. Right now, there's 1 million people securing the network, and that number is just going to grow. And the larger it grows, the more secure it will get. Approved transactions. So the banks reserve the right to deny transactions for a variety of reasons. So, they could freeze your account. They can, say, oh, we noticed, you're sending too much money, so we don't want to do it. This seems like too fishy to send it. So there's a lot of ways that they can deny these transactions. With Bitcoin, it does not dictate how Bitcoin is used. Bitcoin doesn't say, oh no, Arian, you can't send this money, it's too much, or we don't like that you're sending it to this person too much. They don't do that. They're just the technology that facilitates it. So there's a lot of freedom, and there's no one that's going to stop you from making any transaction that you want. Account services or seizures, excuse me. So governments can easily track people down and seize their assets. With Bitcoin, they're going to have a hard time tracking people down. It's not impossible. It has happened in the past, but it's very difficult. And, you know, to that point, that's why there's more criminal activity. That's why a lot of criminals like to use Bitcoin, because of this privacy and this security. So it's not all rosy. And I'm not here to say that Bitcoin is the way of the future. I'm just here to educate you on how it works, and you could decide if it's a good or bad investment, if you think if it's the future, or if you don't think it's a future. Next is inherent value. So money is not backed by anything, right? The money that you have is not backed by gold. It used to be, but it's not anymore. Over the past 100 years, the value of the dollar has been declining. So Bitcoin's inherent value is the fact that it has a limited supply in a strong community of people. So there is only a limited amount of Bitcoin. There's not unlimited amounts. Now, who is to say that you can't just click a button and add more Bitcoin? The reason why is it does have to get confirmed with those million people, and most likely that will not get confirmed. So if you take a look at that, that's pretty interesting. Okay, let's talk about how to invest in Bitcoin. 6-step system to invest in cryptocurrency. The first thing you want to do is review your asset allocation. Quickly in the questions box, how many people know what their asset allocation is? Just put in yes or no. Do you know what your asset allocation is right now? Okay, we're getting a lot of no's. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. As remember, when it comes to investing, your asset allocation is the most important decision that you're going to make. It doesn't matter which cryptocurrency you buy or which piece of real estate that you own. It's really your asset allocation. And if you don't have a good understanding of this, and you don't have that set up, then you're not ready to start investing, period. Let alone cryptocurrency. You're not even close to ready if you don't have your asset allocation set up. So as a quick refresher, your asset allocation is how your money is divided, the percentage of assets that you have in different asset classes. So I'll give you an example. So here are a couple good questions you want to ask yourself, and you can put your answers in the questions box. So number one is, do you want to include cryptocurrency in your portfolio? So just ask yourself yes or no. Number two, how much of your portfolio are you comfortable putting at risk? This is an important question, because when you're investing in a new investment like this, you have to assume every dollar that you put in is going to go to zero. That is the best way to invest in cryptocurrency, because you're not going to have an emotional reaction to the ups and downs. And it's very volatile, a lot more volatile than the crypto or stock market. So every dollar you invest, just mentally say to yourself, this money is gone. It's going to go to zero. So that will really help you weather the storms. Number two, what is your new asset allocation going to be? So if you decide that, you know what, I'm going to invest 20% of my investments into crypto, looks like Nasima said 30%, then you need to adjust everything else to make sure that you can make room for cryptocurrency. So if you take a look at this example here, and Tony Robbins, a great quote, he said, the difference between success and failure is not which stock to buy or which piece of real estate you buy, it's your asset allocation. So here's an example of an asset allocation, right? So let's say you have your money, and this is how you want to divide it. You want to put 30% in Canadian stocks, 40% in real estate, 30% in bonds that are very safe, and 10% into cryptocurrency. So this could be what your asset allocation looks like, right? Again, this is just an example, but you need to figure out these percentages on your own. For myself personally, again, just because I do it doesn't mean that you do it. I have about 15% of my investments in cryptocurrency. Now, when I did this, I had to adjust everything else. So I had to lower my stock market allocation and a little. I didn't change my real estate allocation because that's harder to change because those are physical assets. But my stock market allocation, I actually did sell certain investments so that I can even out and add in cryptocurrency and reallocate this money. So hopefully that example helps. So step number 2 is decide what cryptocurrency to invest in. You only have 6,000 different options, and that number is growing daily, right? So there is a lot of options to choose from. So right now, here are the top 5 different cryptocurrencies around the world. Bitcoin is number 1, Ethereum is number 2, Binance Coin, Tether, and Solana. So we're going to talk about these and actually go through them here. So one of my favorite websites to use, it's called CoinMarketCap. So we're going to go to that site right now. So CoinMarketCap, and don't worry, you don't need to, don't try to, whoops. We're going to give you a link to this website. We have a great resource. This is a great resource that we're going to give to everyone at the end of today's class, that they're going to have links to different exchanges and things like that. And one of them will be CoinMarketCap, so don't worry. So here are the top by market cap. So what does market cap mean? That just basically means how much money is invested in these different assets. So Bitcoin has over $1 trillion invested in it. Ethereum has 500 million, and then it really kind of drops from there, 100 million into Binance Coin. So Bitcoin right now is the leader. Now, does it mean that Bitcoin is the future? Who knows, right? It's kind of like going back in time and saying, is Friendster going to be the social media app that's going to take over? Remember, when Friendster and MySpace were around, Facebook didn't even exist. And then all of a sudden, Facebook came around and they just absolutely took over. So there's absolutely a good possibility that the leading cryptocurrency in 10 years from now doesn't already exist. But right now, Bitcoin has a huge head start with $1 trillion in assets and with the market cap. So different things that you could see the price here is $57. This is all in US dollars, so it's going to be different Canadian dollars. The circulating supply, so how many Bitcoins are out there? So you have about 19 million. So if you look at Bitcoin, what's the total supply? 21 million supply limit, right? So right now we're at 18 million. We're almost at the supply limit, right? So what does that mean? When it hits 21 million, there's not going to be any more new Bitcoins being mined or released. So this is the volume in the day. So $39 billion in Bitcoin are being exchanged daily. You could see the percentage changes over time. And there it is. Ethereum is really different, right? And I like Ethereum because Ethereum is more of a technology that a lot of these cryptocurrencies that you see is actually built on the Ethereum network. So Ethereum has built this incredible network with smart contracts. And if you don't understand what I'm saying, don't worry about it. But they're really focused on building a great technology that other applications can be built on. So not just cryptocurrencies, but lending protocols or borrowing money. Ethereum is really building. A good example would be like, what would be a good real life example? They're building similar like to the App Store. So if you think about the Apple App Store, that's kind of the platform, and then you have all these different apps on them, and there's apps from education to learning to news. That's kind of what Ethereum is like. They're building the App Store for Web3 and decentralized programs so that they can build on them. And guys, cryptocurrency is just one part of the equation to Web3, right? And I'm not here to go on a huge tangent on what the future could look like, but we're just talking about a small portion of what the next evolution of decentralized applications and organizations are going to look like. It's very interesting. Okay, so here are the different ones, and you could click on them and do some research. You know, some of the things you could look at is the chart. So you could see at one point Bitcoin was, you know, $100. It was even less way back in the day. It was like a couple cents. You could see now it's $50,000. So this is a good, I really like CoinMarketCap. They offer some really fantastic resources to help you educate yourself and learn more about different cryptocurrencies. So right now, a lot of people say, is it too late to invest in cryptocurrency? So right now, the total market cap of all cryptocurrency is about $2.8 trillion. The market cap of just gold is $12 trillion. So you could see it's just about 15% the market cap of gold. And a lot of people are saying cryptocurrencies are going to be a lot bigger than gold just because of their utility and all the different flexibility that cryptocurrencies have, the different applications that they have. You can lend money, you can borrow money, you can earn interest. They're so versatile as opposed to gold. We're not here to say it's one or the other. You can have both of them, but this is a good slide to take a look at. Yeah, Toby asked, don't forget to add a real estate market cap too. Yeah, the market cap of real estate. Let me do a quick search. And let's just do US. It's $16 trillion as of 2018, right? So, oof, that's pretty, like, it just puts it into perspective a little bit. So there are ETFs. I'm not sure if any of you have heard, there are actually cryptocurrency ETFs. This is really interesting. So I'll show you a few here. One of them is called Evolve. So if you just search cryptocurrency ETF Canada, you have a few. Purpose Bitcoin Canadian ETF, the Bitcoin Fund. There's actually quite a bit. I'll just use this one as an example. Evolve plans to launch Canada's first multi-cryptocurrency ETF on Wednesday, September 29th. So if you take a look at this cryptocurrency ETF, so this is interesting because this, instead of buying the cryptocurrency, which you're going to have to open up a brokerage, you're going to have to understand your private and public keys, and it's going to take a little bit of education to get familiar with how to actually invest in cryptocurrencies. What you could do inside of your registered accounts like a TFSA and an RSP, you can buy an ETF that tracks the performance of Bitcoin or Ethereum, which is really interesting. So this is one ETF right now. You see TFSA and RSPs are eligible. Its market price is $14 right now. There's about $40 million in assets under management. Now, it only holds 2 cryptocurrencies. So number of holdings are 2. So the only 2 that they hold are Bitcoin and Ethereum. So they don't hold the others. So this is the ticker symbol, ETC. So if you just search ETC ETF on Google, here it is. And this is it, $14. So that's a really easy way for all of you to do that. There's another great one that I want to show you here. This is one that I found that was really interesting. It's from Bitwise. So what these Bitwise actually has a lot of different types of ETFs, right? So you could see this is a crypto index ETF, and it's actually more than just two. So you could see it looks like they have the top 10 or so different cryptocurrencies out there. And this is really interesting because, you know, no one knows what the next 10 are going to be. So instead of trying to guess, and always staying on track, like, okay, oh, a new one just came out, let me buy that. You can buy an ETF like this and it will always hold the top 10 at all times. So right now, these are the top 10 and it holds them, and there's different ones. Now, it looks like you have to be an accredited investor only. So unfortunately, you do have to be accredited, which means you need to pass certain regulations. It might not be available in Canada yet. So again, cryptocurrency is still very new, but something like this is interesting because they have all these different assets that they're holding, and you don't have to buy and sell them. As an example, for me, what I do, I actually own a little bit of a lot right now. Some of them I own more because I believe in them, and then the others I just have a little bit in. And that, it's expensive. You got to pay high transaction fees, and it is definitely not cheap to do that. Go back here. See if there's any questions before we move on here. Okay. Okay, perfect. So the next step is dollar cost averaging. And this is important because cryptocurrencies are very volatile. Every single week there's a new high or it's a low, and there's a lot of ups and downs, mostly ups as of recently, but who knows if that'll continue. As a quick refresher, investing a regular amount on a consistent basis is really what dollar cost averaging is. And it's the same thing with cryptocurrency. You don't want to put all your money in all at once. You want to invest over time. And you especially want to invest during those downtimes. Last week, there was a big downtrend in the markets, and now it's back up. So last week would have been a great time to invest. So how do you actually invest? You want to open up your cryptocurrency exchange platform. Here's what the platform looks like. This is just one of my accounts. And you want to have a few. So I have a Coinbase account. I also have a Wealthsimple account. I have a Binance account, and I have a Jax account, right? So I have a lot of different accounts. You don't have to do that. I just like learning that way because I like to have different accounts open and trading with them. It is a lot more confusing, but this is what it looks like. It's very similar if you've done any self-directed training before. So it's really simple and easy to use. And then let's say you want to buy $500 Bitcoin. So you put in $500, you click buy. So you could click the, different cryptocurrency you want to buy, what you want to pay with, and then purchase. And then that's it. So then you purchase it, and then you're all good to go. And then it says, okay, you're going to get 0.00648 Bitcoin. So a lot of people say, Arian, I don't have, $75,000 to buy a Bitcoin. You don't have to buy one Bitcoin. You could buy 0.006, as you could see on the screen. Okay, now next step is keeping your cryptocurrency safe. This is a really important step because you don't want to lose your cryptocurrency. And there's a difference between a hot wallet and a cold wallet. So what does that mean? A hot wallet is connected to the internet, and quite honestly, it could be vulnerable from online attacks. That's why I really like, using a Coinbase, because they're very secure and you can actually transfer it into a separate wallet, right? So there's so many things that you could do, but when you're investing, just make sure that you have procedures in place to keep them safe by having a hot and cold wallet. Cold wallets, they're not fun to have. They're not connected to the internet. So it may be secure. It is a lot more secure, but it's a lot less convenient. So, as an example, I have a safe at my house, and I have a piece of paper Okay, and the piece of paper has all the information to claim my Bitcoin and my cryptocurrency. So let's say I get hacked, or let's say my computer breaks or I lose access, whatever, worst case scenario, I can go get that piece of paper, and because it has all the information I need, like private key, public key, security words, things like that, I can reclaim it, right? So it's not convenient, it's very old school, but that's just how you add a level of security to it. So every time I buy cryptocurrency, I don't update that piece of paper. I usually update it every 6 months. You can also hold this on like an external hard drive. You could do that, but then there are risks that hard drive, something can happen to it. So there are so many different ways to keep your cryptocurrency safe. This is just one of the strategies. So you definitely want to have that on your radar when you are looking to invest. Okay, so we do have advanced cryptocurrency strategies. Like some people ask, can you earn interest? Can you earn passive income, dividends? I've been doing some of these things which are really interesting. Number one is staking. So basically what staking means is a lot of these cryptocurrencies will reward you for just holding on to that crypto, because they don't want to have a lot of people buy and then sell, because that's just going to make their cryptocurrency very volatile. So they'll actually reward you for holding on to your Bitcoin or your Ethereum or your Solana or whatever it might be. They'll pay you interest for just holding. So that's a way for you to earn passive income. And there's crazy advanced things that are going on. Quite honestly, a lot of experiments that have never been done before that are offering insane staking and rewards. They're just out of this world. Number two is mining. So remember, Bitcoin miners or any type of miners out there, every type of cryptocurrency needs them, to validate the transactions, to make sure that the network is secure. So you can be one of these miners and you can earn Bitcoin for doing that. I mentioned my friend. He does this. He set it up. He watched some YouTube videos. You should see his room. It's just got all these different machines. It looks like he's hacking something with all these machines and wires. It's unbelievable. But he's actually earning a little bit of Bitcoin each month. I'm not sure if he's making money, but I think he was doing it more out of curiosity because the electricity bills are crazy. And then there's also liquidity pools, which I'm not going to go into too much detail here, but it's another way for you to learn about more advanced cryptocurrency strategies and to earn passive income. So if you do want to learn on more of these three, myself and one of our head coaches, Matt Dewey, we actually recorded a YouTube video, and it was a conversation of us just speaking, similar to like a podcast style. We were just talking about some of these different strategies, how they work, what we're learning. And so if you are interested in watching that, you absolutely can. It will be included on this free resource that we're going to give everyone access to. So there should be a comment in the chat box where you're going to have access to this free resource. It includes some of our favorite educational resources, some of the different exchanges that you can use, just some really, really cool stuff. So make sure to check that out. It also includes that interview Matt and I did that we talk more about some of these advanced strategies. Awesome. So I am sure you have a ton of questions, and we're going to get to the Q&A, which is like we already have so many. So it's pretty amazing, all the questions we have coming in. So how many of you enjoyed that, and that kind of gave you a good introduction to cryptocurrency? Again, if you feel still intimidated or nervous, that's totally normal. It took me like 30, 40, 50 hours of YouTube videos and reading books to fully understand this. So hopefully that gave you a good overview of cryptocurrencies and how to kind of get started. Awesome. Getting some feedback. So we have questions. So I'm going to do a Q&A. Before we do, I'm just going to quickly talk about our coaching program if you haven't heard. So we do have a coaching program that a lot of you are aware of. It's one-on-one coaching. I want to be clear, it's not cryptocurrency coaching. We can talk about it with you, but that's not really what the coaching program is all about. The coaching program is just a program that's going to help you create a plan for you and your family to live a financially free life. It's like a full audit of your financial situation, whether it's budgeting, investments, insurance, real estate, and creating a plan for you, your family, and your future. It's having one-on-one expert just guiding you to it. For those of you that are new to Enriched Academy, a lot of you know that we're trusted by some of the top educational institutions across the country, including school boards, career colleges. We also have a lot of associations and corporations that we work with, right? Police services, different associations like the National Police Federation. A lot of companies are using Enriched Academy for their mental health and financial well-being. So if you're a part of a company or you are an owner of a company and you'd like to learn a little bit more about having Enriched Academy a part of your well-being program, you can email me, right? We'd love to hear from you. It's arian@enrichedacademy.com. But here's some of the organizations that we work with. So the challenge for a lot of Canadians is they want to be financially free. They want to make these decisions, but they hit some roadblocks. They either get nervous and scared, they lack the discipline and motivation, or they encounter roadblocks. And that's totally normal. That's fine. And that's where a coach by your side can really help guide you, can help point you in the right direction, and really help you out. So what is this coaching program and how does it work? So number one is you get 6 one-on-one virtual meetings with a financial expert. This is like a certified expert that all they do is help Canadians create a plan for financial freedom. And it's customized to you. That's the biggest thing, a customized financial freedom plan. The challenge with workshops like this or education online is very general. The great thing with the coach is it's so personalized to you and your situation. Again, 100% personalized to you. And we also have an accountability system to ensure you take action, because education is just the first step to financial freedom. You have to also take that education and learn on how to take action on it, do something with it. And that's really where the magic happens. Financial foundation that will pay you forever. So that's really important, because the goal of the coaching program, it usually lasts about 6 months. Now it continues to go on, but it's during those first 6 months that the coach will help you create a foundation for the rest of your life. It's like, imagine you could go to the gym for 6 months and then you just have a nice, fit, healthy body. You don't really have to go to the gym as much and it's just there. That would be incredible, right? Like, sign me up for that. That's kind of how, finances work, right? You lay a foundation for 6 months and then you're good to go. And you get lifetime access to on-demand courses and tools. Awesome. Yeah, Jennifer said, in-depth coaching with Enrich is the best investment I made. Coach Alana is amazing. Oh, awesome to hear that. Thanks. Let us know if anyone else is in the coaching program and what your experience has been. We'd love to hear. So why financial freedom coaching? Number one, it's all about accountability. Right? So many Canadians are not where they want to be financially. It's not because they don't know what to do. It's because they don't actually do what they know. Number two, it's a dedicated financial expert. That's 100% focused on you and your family situation. It's 100% bias free. We're not here to sell you cryptocurrencies or real estate or financial products. So you're getting advice that's in your best interest. And when you get advice that's in your best interest, that's how you start making progress to your goals. The challenge with most financial advisors is that they're trying to sell you financial products because they're looking out for their own interest and their company's best interest. So they're not really helping you move the needle and help you get to your goals. They're worried about their goals. Number two, they're focused on every area of your finances. Building wealth is like having a nice, fit, healthy body. You can't just focus on your investments. You have to review your budget, your insurance, real estate, your retirement plan, your credit. There's your passive income. There's so many different things, and a coach is just going to focus on all of that. The other challenge with most financial advisors is because they only get paid based on the investments that they sell you, they only focus on investing. They don't talk about budgeting or credit or cryptocurrency because they don't get paid through that. And then finally, lifelong results and impact, right? You're making a lifelong impact for you and for your family. Awesome. Mary says, I've gone through the program. It's so worth it. So here are the actual financial results of students, because numbers don't lie, guys. Numbers always tell the truth. So in just 6 months, our average coaching client increases their net worth by $50,000, which is unreal. Unreal. Look at how much decrease in monthly spend, $1,200. Increase in credit score. Awesome. Andrea says, I'm coaching with Melanie, who's helping me create momentum to create wealth for my retirement. I love that, Andrea. That's amazing. So what we are offering, for those of you that are interested in the coaching program, we would just like to learn more, we do offer Canadians a free assessment call. It's a 45-minute call with the financial freedom consultant, just to get an idea of where you're at and what your future looks like for you and for your family, and just help you lay a foundation. So during the call, what's going to happen is you're going to evaluate your situation, identify the root causes that are holding you back, set goals for your future, and design a path forward for you and for your family. And whether or not you join the coaching, after this call, you're going to feel a lot more enlightened about your finances, because at least you're going to know your different options and have a candid conversation with an expert about where you're at. And this is a great time to do it right before the holidays. Now is the time to set up your 2022 for success. Because let's not make 2022 just another one of those years. Oh, it was just another one of those years. I wanted to get better with my finances, but nothing happened. Then 2023 comes, 2024 comes. Let's make 2022 the best financial year for ourselves, for our family. That's the year that changes everything for ourselves. And I know for a lot of you, it will be, but it will only happen with action. So book this free call, guys, and let's make it happen, right? Let's make 2022 our best financial year. So is the financial meeting right for you? Do you want to be aware of your different options? Do you want to achieve your goals faster? Do you need help taking action? And then finally, do you feel like you should be doing better financially? And if you answered yes to any of these questions, then absolutely give the program a shot. So if you take a look at Ryan, thanks so much for mentioning this. Through the coaching program, we have made huge leaps and bounds in our financial situation. It is the best financial investment I ever made. Can't read the rest, but thanks so much for saying that, Ryan. Really appreciate it. No worries on spelling my name wrong, right? So we do have limited availability for these calls. We only have 3 individuals doing these calls, so these spots do get up. There is a link in the comment section, so make sure you click that link and book your call. Besides that, I hope you enjoyed today's class, guys. If you got value from it, if you learned a thing or two, I'd really appreciate it if you liked this video and gave it a big thumbs up, because that helps the YouTube algorithm and get Enriched Academy out to the masses. If you also have a friend or family member that wants to get better with their money, talks about financial literacy, share this with them. Please, please, please. So now let's talk about questions and answers. If you did have a question, please do ask it, and I'd love to see if I can answer as many as I can. Okay. Amazing. Thank you, Fran, for mentioning that. Okay, Kim asked a good question. Can you transfer crypto from Binance to another platform like Wealthsimple? The answer, Kim, is yes. I do it all the time. You absolutely can. Now, here's the key, Kim. Let's say you have Bitcoin in Binance. You can only transfer Bitcoin in Binance to Bitcoin at Wealthsimple or Coinbase. You can't go from Bitcoin and Binance to Ethereum at Wealthsimple. If you want to end up with Ethereum, you have to go Bitcoin from Binance to Bitcoin to Coinbase. And then once that money is in Coinbase, you have to transfer it to Ethereum. So hopefully that makes sense. Susie asked an off-topic question. Does my investment advisor have to tell me how much they make? Susie, by law, they don't have to tell you the full amount. They just have to tell you a portion of the amount, right? This is called an MER, a management expense ratio, which is basically the fee that you pay the advisor. The advisor only has to tell you how much they get paid, which is not the fee. And by law, they don't have to disclose it on their statements. So sometimes when you ask, you're going to get kind of a song and dance, or you might get a very straight up announcement. Yes, Kraken is a good app. Dolce, I've used them before. They're good. Okay, Ryan asks, if one is looking to put 50,000 into a mix of ETFs and stocks, how long in time would you stretch it out to get it all into the market rather than dumping it all at once? Ryan, that's such a good question. It really depends on your situation, like when you want to retire, what's your retirement horizon. I would say between 6 to 12 months is a good place to start, Ryan. Awesome, Lynn. Yeah, I'm glad you learned something. This class was really designed for newbies. If you are an expert, again, on the resources checklist that we have, myself and Matt, we go into a deep conversation on advanced cryptocurrency strategies. It really goes into detail. So make sure to check that out with those resources. Awesome, Tracy. Thanks for the kind words. That's amazing. Let us know if there are any other questions. Kim, is there fees involved for those transfers? Kim, yes, there are. There are absolutely fees. And those fees are quite high, especially on a Coinbase platform, especially if you're using Ethereum. Fran asks, where do we receive the email? So, Fran, you will get these resources emailed to you, but they're also available in the chat box. If I want crypto for transactions, why would I pay 58K for Bitcoin versus $1 for Tether? So Tether, basically what it is, it's a stable coin. What a stable coin is basically a coin that's backed by the US dollar. There's no fluctuation. It's very stable. So if you're just using it for transactions, HK, then yes, Tether is a good option. The challenge is Tether doesn't go up in value, doesn't appreciate like Bitcoin does. But if that's not your goal, then you could do that. Which Bitcoin ETF has the lowest MER? Vicky, good question. I actually don't know the answer to that one. I myself personally actually invest in the underlying assets, but I think it shouldn't be too difficult to figure out. Thank you, Adele. Hope you enjoyed it. Yes, Sean, we are recording this so you can go back and watch it again. Yeah, Ryan, awesome. Staking crypto session will be great. Ryan, we do have more information on that conversation. We do. Honestly, it's still something I'm learning. It is a little bit high level, especially when you get into those more advanced strategies. But we do discuss it. There's some good videos on YouTube as well, which is great. Awesome, Sharon. Booked your complimentary call. Amazing. Happy Chicken asks, how do I become a cryptocurrency miner? Great question. I would go onto YouTube and search how to become a Bitcoin miner. I've looked at it before. It does take a lot of electricity, a lot of time to set up. If you're good with computers, it could be a good source of side income for you to earn. Amazing. Okay, that looks like that's all the questions here. Thank you so much for for attending today's class. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got some value from it. We're back next week, so please do stay tuned. And again, if you enjoyed this class, please give the video a big thumbs up, tag a friend, share it with a family or friend. And if you enjoyed this, you want more, just let us know. We're open to your suggestions. We would love to see what you're all about and what you want to learn. So thanks so much, everyone. Have an amazing rest of your day. Yep, you can absolutely share it with a friend, Kenny. You could just share them the link and you're good to go. Bye for now.